So, hi, my name is Patrick Bach. I'm the GM at DICE in Stockholm, and we're here at Star Wars Celebration to talk about Star Wars Battlefront.
Let's start by talking about how you collaborated with Lucasfilm on developing this new game.
Yeah, so we started the whole relationship with asking us, are you willing to build the next big Star Wars Battlefront game? And of course, the immediate reaction is like, oh my God, this is a daunting task, but of course we will do it. So I think the collaboration has been brilliant. We've been working super close with them throughout the whole process, making sure that everything is as authentic as it can be. Our goal is of course to stay true to the original trilogy, make sure all the assets that you see in the movies are there and are rendered in a way where you feel like you're in the movie. So the relationship has been amazing.
You guys got access to the actual archives. Talk about how you use that for the video game.
Yeah, so what we've done is we try to scan all the items that you have in the movies directly from the archives, and we use a technology called photogrammetry, where you actually take photographs of these objects, take hundreds of photographs, and then you stitch them together to a 3D model with all the textures and all the material and all the information you need. And then you put that through our pipeline, and it gets rendered in the game with a technology called physics-based rendering, PBR, that kind of makes it come to life. It looks really, really realistic, and it just fits.
You guys also went to the different locations. Talk about that and what you did at those.
Yeah, so when you have the props from the movie, you need to place them in the world. So going to the actual locations where the movies were shot was super important for us. So when you go to Hoth, you actually go to Norway where those scenes were shot. When you go to Endor, you go to the redwood forests where those scenes were shot. So we actually took this very, very seriously by going to all of these locations to make sure we actually replicate the things you saw in the movies, to actually transport you into this virtual and very, very real environment that we give you.
What were some of the other locations that you guys hit?
Well, we have Hoth, of course. We have Endor that you've seen in the trailer. We have Tatooine, and then we have a planet that hasn't really been realized to this level of quality before, called Sullust. And Sullust is kind of a very barren lava planet, which is quite harsh. And that planet hasn't really been realized in any of the movies, but it has been in some video games and some of the books. So we saw this as our chance to actually take this planet and bring it to life. So that is actually being based out of Iceland, where there is lava that we had people crawling around a bit too close to the lava. So there are some interesting stories about those shoots, of course. So you can see that as the last shot in the trailer, for instance. That's the Sullust planet. Also in our key art, that is also Sullust. And then to connect the game also to the Force Awakens, we are actually giving you the Battle of Jakku. And that would be a free DLC that everyone will get to download, which is actually, since the Episode 7 movie is 30 years later, and one of the locations is the planet of Jakku, you actually get to play that battle that you then see the kind of result of 30 years later in the movie. So the only way to experience the Battle of Jakku is actually in Star Wars Battlefront.
And where was that filmed, that particular location? Where did you replicate it from?
I'm not sure if I can talk about that, so I will just shut up.
How did you work with J.J. Abrams in that case?
Well, we worked really close with everyone at Lucasfilm to get access to the right things, and that's of course in a different timeline than the rest of the game, because the Endor we all know about, but Episode 7 we didn't know about the details, so it wasn't until later we got to know that we had the opportunity to do this.
And that Jakar takes place right after Return of the Jedi, that battle?
Yes, it's in the time period just after.